I was never really a runner. The way I see running is a gift, especially when you have stage 4 cancer. I'm Anne. I'm running the Boston Marathon, presented by Bank of America. I run for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute to give people like me a chance to thrive in life, even with cancer.
Join Bank of America in helping Anne's cause. Give if you can at BofA.com/supportAnne. What would you like the power to do? References to charitable organizations is not an endorsement by Bank of America Corporation. Copyright 2025.
Are your ulcerative colitis symptoms proving difficult to manage? Tremfya guselkumab can help you manage the cycle of UC symptoms. At 1 year, many patients taking Tremfya achieved clinical remission, and some patients also achieved endoscopic remission. Individual results may vary. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Ask your doctor if Tremfya can help you manage the cycle of UC symptoms. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more, or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Especially in a day and age where we all sometimes feel disconnected, to really find a community spa is what we're aiming for. And it's funny, all of our owners, this is why they're so successful. They want that as well, right? They want that community connection and people connection. And I think we really focus on experience.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to the latest edition of FranCoach's Franchising 101 podcast. I am Tim Parmeter, founder and CEO of FranCoach, and your podcast host. Today, we are going to put the spotlight on one of our franchise partners, wellness, beauty, super cool franchise. From the services that they offer, all of the support that they have. I kind of wish there was one right down the street right now so I could go be a customer. But unfortunately, I live in the middle of nowhere, Arizona. They ain't putting one of these here. So, but doesn't mean we can't talk to them and share a little bit about their brand. That's coming up next. First, as always, a quick reminder of who the heck we are at FranCoach. We're a national search firm dedicated to working with people like yourself, interested in owning a franchise. We're partnered with over 600 franchises in about 70 different industries. Number one goal is to help properly educate you on franchise ownership. Going to help you determine if it's the right path for you. And if so, what's the absolute best one for you to own? So coming up here next is one of our franchise partners, and we're going to talk about their amazing brand. That's next on the Franchising 101 podcast. And we are back now with our guest, and joining us today is the Director of Franchise Development for our featured brand today, which is Spavia Day Spa. Oh, that sounds good. We have with us Miss Karen White. Karen, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me today, Tim.
Next time, can we do this at a Spavia Day Spa while like maybe we're both getting some treatments or something?
Absolutely. I was actually there last week.
Excellent. Well, I'm very jealous. I got a little, I'm like, and I'm old. Any good things for me with that? And so I've got a whole bunch of questions for you about Spavia, and like, so be ready for that. But I always like talking about franchising, as you know, is a people business, regardless of where we are in this is crazy space. It's always like hearing stories. So how in the world, Karen, did you get into this crazy thing that is franchising?
Oh, franchising. I absolutely love it. I will tell you, it's not a super exciting story, but I was a nonprofit.
Way to build it up.
Yeah, way to build it up. Not a super exciting story. I was in nonprofit for many years, did fundraising for a nonprofit that we did national expansion. So when you're dealing with funders, you're building relationships, right? Telling a story and really understanding who they're looking to support in the heart of where they want to put their dollars. And I had a donor who was starting their own FSO and just said, "Hey, Karen, do you want to come over and join our company?" I was like, I don't know anything about franchising, but I sure know a lot about people, right? It's the relationship building. And I'll tell you, it's been such a great career move. I could never have imagined that where it would lead me. I worked with large FSOs, equity brands, and private equity owned brands. And then also now I'm with Spavia Day Spa, which is a founder led brand. So I'll tell you, it's an exciting journey to be on with people as they're looking into business ownership.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Like so many people we talk to, myself included, it's like, wait, what's franchising? Sure. However, we just kind of stumbled into it, and then here we are, years later, decades later. I'm just starting year 11 in this craziness, and we never seem to leave because it's such an awesome community. And I think really more than anything, people. So glad to know you fit right in with the just you fell into it, and then here we are years later.
Yeah, I love it. Love
Yeah.
it.
So tell us a little bit about, I want to get into all the business model stuff, but just from a consumer standpoint, Spavia Day Spa, I'm not super smart, nor is anybody really in franchising. So it's usually somewhat obvious what the name of these things are with the words day spa after Spavia. But talk to us a little bit about what this location is and what all is offered.
Yeah, it's affordable luxury. So when you think of a day spa, typically you're thinking of Ritz Carlton or Four Seasons, something that you'll visit on a vacation with a high price tag, right? And you'll spend a couple hours in your spa robe and your spa sandals wandering around the day spa. And so that's where Spavia lands, but at an affordable price. So we bring that high end luxury resort experience to a membership model that guests can experience monthly. So when you visit a Spavia, you do get that spa robe, the spa sandals. There's a beautiful retreat space where you get aromatherapy pillows and hot teas, ambience where you can go before and after your treatment. And so I like to tell people, like, we're right in the middle, right? On one end of the spectrum, of course, you have your high-end luxury day spas, but on the other end, you have more of a transactional, where you go get a massage, you roll into the room, change your clothes, hop on the table, get dressed and leave, right? It's very transactional. With day spa, it's an experience, right? You get all the amenities and experiences, but within that affordable price tag.
Nice. So slightly better than the chair massage my wife and I got at the mall last weekend
Oh, yeah.
just slightly better than that, right? So
Just a little.
yeah, but I'm really a high class individual. That's how I like to treat my wife, is like, hey honey, let's get some little chair massage for 20 bucks. Talk a little bit about, because I think the spa like experience, but there's a lot of different services that people can go there. So it's not just one thing. Talk a little bit about the range of things that like that I or anybody could have walking into a Spavia.
Yeah, love it. We have diverse revenue streams, but more importantly, diverse treatments for your guests. So, of course, massage, which is a staple. We offer facials, which we've been doing for 20 years. We're a 20-year-old company, so not new to the facial space, but then also body treatments and beauty treatments, which include lashes, waxing, and sunless tan.
Oh wow. So you've got, and they're in the franchising world, you rattled off probably 6 different things there that all could be a standalone business. It's enough of a niche that's, you could go someplace and that's all they do, or you can come to Spavia and really have any of those, all of those, mix and match over time, which I'm guessing keeps that customer retention very high with Spavia because of, again, the quality component. But again, you just got so many things to offer people, correct?
Yeah, I like to say it's like 4-in-1 franchises. You kind of get, big bang for your buck for your guests. And I think the thing that's really unique is, yes, we have all the different revenue streams. Doesn't include like gift cards and boutique sales, but is we really focus on that exceptional guest experience where guests can personalize their treatment. And so not only are they coming in for the massage, and then maybe they want to add in, the lash extension or waxing, but again, it's that community. So you get to know your guests on all different levels of their beauty needs.
Yeah. And I like even on the website on the top, which is spaviadayspa.com is the website, but Spalibrations. So which again, let's not just get one person in the door. Let's get a group of, 10 of them in the door, right?
Yeah, birthdays, bridal showers, different things. And the way that we structure our spas where you can open up the retreat space, right? So that you can have a large celebration for people.
Oh, very cool. Nice. So And then you mentioned also the great word membership model, right? So you've got membership packages. Anybody could just come in like without a membership, but a great way to ensure your customers are going to continue to come back and be able to give them some savings by tapping into one of the memberships, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's recurring revenue as a business owner, but then also just an opportunity to get to know your guests. But yeah, people can walk in off the street and not be a member, but it's pretty strong revenue to have that reoccurring.
Yeah. Well, and hopefully they walk in one time and then they leave a member, right?
That's the goal.
So, well, cool. So love all the things from a consumer standpoint, but now somebody wants to own this. Like first and foremost, I think it's a little bit of a myth typically that, well, I need experience in that industry in which to own it, whether work experience or experience as a customer. Does that at all required for Spavia?
No, not at all. Actually, about 90% of our owners have no spa or actually health and wellness experience at all. Between, lawyers, the tech space, any type of corporate experience. No, it's not needed. And the thing is this is a people business. And so, if you can follow systems, and, learn the business, that's the beautiful thing about the franchise. So no spa experience is needed.
What are some things that you look for? Are there any specific, you mentioned obviously a people person, but are there any specific traits that you find pretty common with your owners?
Yeah, leadership. I say our strongest franchisees have that ability to build teams, really build that culture, hire, engage, and really retain, right? So if you've never hired or interviewed, that can be a bigger learning curve. Of course, we have training on that, but I would say our strongest franchisees are ones that have a passion to build teams. And then secondly, a passion for people. We're a service-based industry. We are a company that believes in philanthropic support into our communities. And so people that want to engage in their community and have a passion for people.
And you mentioned some of the support, and I want to touch on support and staff here in a little bit too, but if you've never hired anybody or, hey, I've hired people all the time, but not for this, right? And so there's always going to be those types of things from a training and support standpoint from the franchise is there's certain backgrounds. This is a little bit more skilled labor versus somebody walking off the street like, hey, I want to flip some burgers. Teach me how to do this. Get a little bit more typically skilled labor staff with this. So I think people that are going to gravitate towards that would be a little bit better for you guys as well. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, except we do quite a bit of training on how to hire estheticians, massage therapists, what to look for. We do actually, not to get too much into the weeds, we do 4 sessions on HR and training and hiring. So you get a pretty thorough training on that. But at the end of the day, people are people, right? Regardless their skill set, and it's being able to adapt and connect with them and empower them to be their best.
Yeah, training on how to hire and manage and compensate, not training the person on how to give the massage.
Oh yes, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, we hire. Yep. So everyone you hire will be trained in their certified esthetician or certified massage therapist. Correct.
Gotcha.
Hey everyone, I wanted to take a quick break from our podcast to tell you about our amazing friends at Entrepreneur. If you're looking to become a franchisee or simply learn more about business ownership, and guys, let's be honest, you're listening to the Franchising 101 podcast, so we know you have some interest in this. And I really encourage you to go to entrepreneur.com to check out all of their great content and resources. Seriously, Entrepreneur has everything, all the way from a bookstore to the best podcasts, webinars, and videos, plus information on upcoming events and the latest articles that seriously, they cover all aspects of franchising and business ownership. If you're having trouble deciding which franchise is right for you, start with Entrepreneur's renowned Franchise 500 ranking, which highlights the best franchises of 2022. For 45 years and counting now, Entrepreneur has been and continues to be the most widely recognized and respected authority in the franchise market. Digital and print subscriptions are available, so you never miss out on anything. So seriously, what are you waiting for? Go to entrepreneur.com right now and learn more.
Uh-oh, the last cookie?
You can get a new box of cookies in as fast as an hour with Walmart Express Delivery.
Are you my guilty self-conscience?
No, I'm the voice offering you promo code EXPRESS for free delivery on your first order.
Hey, who ate my cookies?
You mean these cookies?
Order now. Welcome to your Walmart. Promotion valid for first express delivery order. $50 minimum subject to availability. Restrictions apply.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. From your morning podcast to your afternoon playlist, State Farm knows you personalize your entire day. And that's why State Farm helps you personalize your insurance with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It offers coverage options that help protect what you care about most at an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
So if we go back to that owner kind of day in the life, so first on a very simple basis, are owners required to be full-time, or are we open to a semi-absentee option as well?
Yeah, I like to say semi-engaged, and definitely not absentee, right? We do, we have owners that have a full-time job. And, one of the first things we talk about when, we're going through this education process is how much flexibility do you have? Do you have an ability to put 15, 20 hours a week into the business? It doesn't mean you have to be at the spa every day.
Right.
But and I know that it's hard to manage a business you don't know yet. So
Right.
we want people engaged, but no, we have owners that have another full-time role, but with some flexibility to manage the business.
Gotcha. So if I'm keeping my job, then I'm going to be essentially kind of hiring a manager, I'm guessing, that's running the day, the day-to-day of the business. Is that accurate?
Yeah, we also have the manager structure, but you could also do a lead structure where you
Cool.
people, you put a lead at your estheticians, lead in your massage therapist, and then a lead advisor. They're obviously experts in that industry as well, right? That's what they do. But you can position people so then you can be that manager, but then you have some people within your departments that report to you.
Gotcha. Okay. So almost build like a little infrastructure in each of those kind of categories for your team. So I think anybody that maybe is then looking, I may be way off. So tell me, we'll even just edit this out. But I'm like, if like you start building those leads and building that kind of leadership within your team, maybe you get ready to open up that second location. You've already identified some talent that are going to help really kind of launch the new one and then take over and make sure things continue to run well at the first one. Is that pretty accurate?
Yep, absolutely. And it's interesting is most massage therapists work part-time. It's hard on their body to work full-time. So a lot of owners have a, part-time massage therapist, and then they're their part-time manager, right? And so you have someone that has those leadership skills, but then can transfer into a second location or so forth. Yeah, absolutely.
Gotcha. Okay. And then kind of from a staff standpoint, how many people do we start out with?
Yeah, out of the gate, it's about 10 to 12.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, there may be some full-time people in there, but also kind of a mix of full-time, part-time. But I always like the fact that these are people that they've done some sort of training and made a kind of a career choice to be an esthetician, massage therapist, whatever. So it's just mostly giving them a good place to work, taking good care of them. And my guess is they become pretty loyal at that point.
Yeah, I mean, particularly massage therapy and esthetician, they're givers, they're carers, right? They come in this industry to take care of people, and they really care about culture and team and creating that environment. And we have about over a dozen franchisees that their team has been with them for 7+ years.
Oh, wow.
So, really creating that environment. I'll tell you, Spavia specifically, they all come in with, they have their license, they're trained estheticians and massage therapists, but there is that Spavia way, right?
Yeah.
We want we train on that. And we also want to support them to grow and have continued education, which is really important, which we do on a national level.
Oh, nice. Which goes back to when I ask you traits for an owner, leadership, right? It wasn't any sort of industry experience, because there's sometimes people go and like, oh, there's issues with labor or labor shortage. There's a shortage of good leaders, right? And so if you're able to build that culture, you will there's always going to be some turnover, but it's going to be very limited, and the happier your staff is, the better they're treating your customers, the better your business is.
Absolutely. And you can probably edit this out too. I always say, be someone wants to work for, right? Creating that culture is, it's key.
Yeah. And I think like I get on labor soapboxes all the time with people, but it's like if you're in maybe year 2 of owning a business and your new employees aren't coming from your existing ones where they're referring friends and family over to you, you're probably not doing something right. Because you want them so happy that they're like, no, 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 like Karen, you got to hire my friend Sally and my friend Bob. They're great. Like when you get that type of culture where your employees are your new staff's coming because they're referred from your existing, you've nailed it, right? So, and I love the fact that you guys are kind of really preaching that right off the bat, the leadership, building that culture, building that team, and for internal, but then that's going to roll over to your customers. And again, that spa-like experience. And as you said right off the bat, and I love this, like get to know your people, get to know your staff, get to know your customers, and they will be very loyal.
Absolutely.
So, talk a little bit then. What do we need? Obviously, we've got a physical location for this. What's kind of the size and where are we putting these things?
Yeah, so it's about a 2,800 square foot location. We have a really strong partner. We partner with JLL, one of the largest real estate companies in the U.S. Everybody pretty much knows them. But one of the cool things I like to share is our partner through JLL actually has been with Spavia since day one. They have helped open,
Oh, wow.
locate every single one of our locations. And they actually come to our Meet the Team Day and do a presentation. Location is everything, right? And a lot of times it just kind of helps that extra layer of confidence when you're joining a franchise system. But really, we're looking for A+ real estate. So we tend to anchor towards Ulta, Whole Foods, Target. We'll do some market analysis, of course, on income and average beauty spend, and but typically right around the strip malls and that A+ real estate.
Gotcha. Yeah, and you mentioned something I think people don't realize sometimes is whether it's the location or that dreaded word competition. The mapping software franchises have, it's creepy how much information that there is,
Yep.
creepy. So when you're like, oh, how much they have to spend on beauty in this zip code, and you're like, wait, what? You know that? Yes, we
Yep.
know that, right?
It's
And
creepy, but only when you don't need it.
yeah, we're only using it for good, not evil.
right. That's
So,
right.
but understand that, and again, that you've got that partnership from a real estate standpoint, because I think this is one of the things that I think should be a little scary to people because, oh, I've led teams before. Oh, I've done this before. Yeah. Have you signed a commercial lease for your business before? No. Right. And to be able to have a team that's like, we've been doing this from the beginning with hundreds of locations around the country doesn't mean you as the new owner, like kick your feet up on the desk and wait for a JL to call you and go, yep, okay, we're all set. Like you got to get off your butt and go do things. But having somebody that talented and experienced holding hands with you as a new owner is very comforting, I would assume.
Absolutely. And, the negotiations with your lease, tenant improvements, like having a partner that not only does this, but has done this with spas. Like that's, yeah, having that partner that's as experienced, this is what they do day in and day out.
Yep.
It's really comforting.
No, and you said the negotiation word, because you always think in real estate, everybody knows location, 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 which is hugely important. But if you get a great location and you don't know how to negotiate the lease terms, and I said to somebody one time about like the letters TI, right? And they're like, huh? And I'm like, oh, you went rogue, didn't you? Right? Yeah, you should never pay retail price for a retail location, and having that kind of support from the franchise is key. Talk about some of the other areas where Spavia is going to help, and again, help, not do, right? But help owners not just get up and running, but be successful long term.
Yeah, I think the other piece too I wanted to add is, with JLL, we also have a really great architectural program company that we work with, which I think is key when you're building a spa. They've been with us for a while. Our COO, our founder, has eyes on your build out. Like we're really hands on at that part. But as far as being successful, you as soon as you sign a franchise agreement, of course, we do a little celebration. We have a welcome call because it's a very big It's a really big, exciting time. But
Yeah.
then you're immediately going to be introduced to your launch coach, which you'll meet at Meet the Team Day. But that launch coach is with you from day one to your release, right? All the checklists, all the different things that need to happen, things you might not think about. That's why you have a partner.
Right. Right.
And you transfer to your business coach. And really that's where we're going to be checking in weekly. What are your KPIs? What are your memberships? What are some areas of opportunity? How is your marketing performing? Right. Those key things that you're running a business and you got a lot to learn, but you have someone going, here, let's focus here. This is going really great. Right.
Right.
Spavia also offers, we have a team member who focuses strictly on local marketing. A lot of times people have a local marketing background and some people don't, right? And if they have a background, maybe they've never done it with businesses, right?
Right.
So someone who really dives in that first 12 to 18 months, like where's your local marketing going? Are we getting most bang for our buck to drive that guest into your spa? So I think that support is key.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the you mentioned just kind of briefly, but talk a little bit about the kind of the people behind like creating this brand years ago, kind of the founders of this and their level of involvement, kind of their background with this.
Yeah, so we're in our 20th year. Spavia just having their 20th anniversary this year, which is really exciting. Marty and Allison Langford founded this 20 years ago. They ran and managed a location for 17 years. So lots of ups and downs and economies and teams and right. And so they have a lot of experience in the spa, which not just starting a business, but running a business, which is key. But they are still heavily involved. We are a founder-led brand. We meet as a leadership team every single week. They're highly involved in the process with the candidates. They want to get to know them and ensure that it's a good fit. So with that, Marty and Allison have strong backgrounds prior to Spavia. He's a CPA by trade. She was actually, Allison, has lots of really great qualities, but she was a buyer for Macy's for many, many years. And so really kind of that design heart, and he's kind of like more the logistics, but they're a really perfect blend for franchisees.
Yeah. And I think their background in this and the fact that this is still their baby, right? So are there franchise systems out there that are worried about growth of new franchises over everything else? Yes, there are. Probably not going to hear them talk on the Franchising 101 podcast because it's my podcast. I get to choose who the hell comes on here, right? So I always appreciate the fact brands like this that are growing, but growing smartly, really caring about the people. And again, the fact that this is their baby. They're still very involved. They want to make sure it's not, do you have a pulse? Can you pay the franchise fee? That it's truly that right partner. And so I think that's fantastic. They are still involved. And again, when you're like, as an owner, this isn't just some random CEO that got brought in. These are the people that created this thing. So whatever bump or issue you're going to have as an owner, it's probably something that they've already seen and figured out how to handle in their sleep. So you're always going to have those people to help, which is, again, is just hugely beneficial for your owners.
Yeah, and here's the deal: it's the heart of the company, right? They want to make sure that they get the right people into the franchise system, but then also to see them successful, right?
Yeah.
I think it's important to remember, like when people come in and they buy more than one unit, like a multi-unit, they have to get that second unit open and that third unit open, and there's a lot of things that go into that within founder and the CEO that ensure that we're not just signing deals, right? We're ensuring that we're honoring your agreement and supporting you.
Yes, absolutely. Which I greatly appreciate the fact that you guys do that, because that's not always the case out there in this amazing world of franchising. But there's always some, you'll be way too nice and won't say or confirm that. But that that's try to be very selective on franchises that I want to be able to kind of share them with, all 7 of our listeners that we have here on the Franchising 101 podcast. I know I'm kind of showing off. Like one of those is me. One's my kid. One is my wife's dog.
And me. I watched the last one. So
see, there you go. Right. So, but before I let you go, and I can't thank you enough for all of your time. loaded question to sign you off, but anything else you would want us to know about Spavia that maybe we haven't touched on?
Oh gosh. Well, yes, a lot of things, but I'll just maybe narrow it down to one. What I love about Spavia is we really focus on that exceptional guest experience. We do a lot of training on, they're our guests, they're not our customer. This is not transactional. They're able to personalize their treatment. They get to pick which lotion scent they want. They get to pick what music they want to play, conversation level. It's very, very personal. And I think, especially in a day and age where we all sometimes feel disconnected, to really find a community spa is what we're aiming for. And it's funny, all of our owners, this is why they're so successful. They want that as well, right? They want that community connection and people connection. And I think we really focus on experience. Quality over quantity.
And you've used several words throughout this. I mean, very, like, again, as you can just tell, it oozes throughout Spavia, right? It's not a customer, it's the guest, right? We want people that can be leaders and build that team and build that great culture, right? So if you're listening out there and that might resonate with you a little bit, who knows, Spavia might be the business for you. So Karen, I can't thank you enough for joining us today and being listener number 7. So that's pretty super awesome. So thank you so much for coming on and joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Tim. This is fun.
Thanks. Thanks again to Karen White, Director of Franchise Development from Spavia Day Spa, for joining us today. And thanks to all of our loyal listeners for tuning in again as well. We hope our guests always provide some insight into the amazing possibilities that can be found as a franchise owner. If you'd like to learn more, again, tons of places to find us. All the social media sites, FranCoach.net is where you reach our team when you are ready to learn a little bit more. Again, we're going to properly educate you to determine if this is for you. And if so, we're going to help find you the best franchise known, maybe with Spavia. If not, no worries. We got 600 and some more. They're out there for you. Also, quick reminder, Friday, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Do not forget on Biz TV, the Franchising 360 show with myself and my super lovely, awesome co-host / wife, Danielle Wright. Check that out. And here in next month, like next week, we'll have a whole new thing on YouTube coming along with our Franchising 360 show. So that's exciting. Until then, FranCoach.net, find us. You know you're ready. Let's chat and see if we can help you create your better tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.